I keep forgetting to pay my bills on time and it turns into a annoying situation. So in this step-by-step tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create your own Excel spreadsheet completely for free so you can keep track of your bills month by month and throughout the entire year. This spreadsheet can help you remember when each bill is due, and you'll also be able to record how much you paid for each one of the bills. Basically, it's a bill tracker in Excel. And on top of that, we also have those visual indicators, so you can easily see when a bill is due. And whenever you type a payment amount, let's say 123, and then hit enter, the cell will automatically turn green, making it even easier to see what's already been paid. So step by step from scratch, let's learn how to build this spreadsheet in Excel. However, if you don't want to build the spreadsheet yourself, I'm gonna leave the link for this template in the description down below, where you can purchase the template. Either way, let's start step by step right now. Let's get started by creating the header in Excel, because I think create a cleaner and organized header in Excel is worth, because it's make our spreadsheet look more professional and more enjoyable to use every day. So let me click on the left on the number 1 to select everything, and then I can go to the home tab and choose a different fill color, maybe a dark blue, or for this case maybe I can stick with the second blue. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to click in the first cell, hold and drag to the right, maybe until the column H. That's it. Now I go to the home tab again, merge and center to make all those cells coupled together. And within this giant cell that I have right now, I want to return the current day, the today's date. However, I'm not going to do it manually. I'm going to automate this task by using equals and then today. This is the formula that can help us return the current date. And Excel is very smart. So if you open your spreadsheet today, tomorrow, next week, next month, it's going to be automatically updated to you. Let me double click here today, 1, 2, hit enter. This is my today's date. Okay. However, if you do the same, you're going to have maybe a different result if you are watching this video in a different date. Let me click on this cell and then I can go to the home tab because I want to change the format. Instead of only see the month, day, and year, I want to see the complete date. So instead of use date, I can click in this down arrow and then I can go to long date. Now I can see Friday, April 24th of 2026. That's exactly what I was looking for. And I want to click again on the first row, click, right click, and then go to row height. I'm going to increase the row height, maybe 40, and then okay. I can click in the formula and then go to home tab, increase the font size a little bit, make it center vertically, and put it into a light to the left. And I can also change the fill text font color, maybe to a dark blue like this one right here, and put everything in bold. Now I can go to the second row, home tab, fill color, and I also going to use here a dark blue. And if you click between the second and third row, click, hold, and drag upward, you can reduce the row height because that way you have a thinner, more compact row. Now it's time to move on to the next step, that is to create the bill tracker itself. I'm going to click on cell B4 on the fourth row, and I'm going to start with the header. So the headers that I'm going to have are bill, and then the next column can be due date or due day, and then the first month of the year, January, enter. Excel is very smart. So if you click in this little handle, click, hold, and drag to the right, Excel is going to continue the sequence for you until December. Now I can select all those months. Just click in the column D, hold, and drag all the way to December. In between one column and another, you can click, hold, and drag to the right to widen those columns a bit, like that. Now I can also widen the column B and reduce a little bit the column C. That's it. I'm going to give you a few examples of bills that I personally have myself. However, you can use your personal bills. I'm just going to give you some examples. That way you have an idea on how to use the spreadsheet, how to write down the bills that you have. So the first one that I want to start with can be home internet. Then the second one can be health insurance. And then maybe I have apartment rent. That's it. Of course, I'm gonna include more bills later. However, let's say I have those 3 bills. And the home internet, the due date is going to be the day 10th. And then health. Oh, I just misspell here. Health. That's it. Is day 5th. And then apartment rent 25, let's say. However, we can clearly see those due dates are not in chronological order. So how can I organize the bills using a chronological order? What are you gonna need to do every time that you have a new bill and then the due date is not organized properly? You're gonna need to select everything you have, everything until December, like that, and then go to the Home tab, go all the way to the right, and then click on Sort and Filter tool, and then you can go to Filter. Because now we have this little drop down in Excel, and it's the filter. If you click in this down arrow, you can choose the first option, sort from smallest to the largest one. That's it. Now the views are correctly organized. And if we go back, Home tab, all the way to the right, sort and filter, and then filter again, we can remove those filters. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just give a little pause in the video, and I'm gonna show you a couple of different views, just to you have an idea on how this spreadsheet or this template in Excel will look like when you have a lot of things registered out here. All right, guys, I just registered here a lot of different views: home internet, health insurance, business internet, apartment rent, etc., etc., and also all the due days. Now, let's say I need to improve a little bit further the layout to make it more professional and also more enjoyable to use on a daily basis. So let me select everything that I have here, click, hold, and drag, and also you can select a couple more rows just to give a extra space, because that way later on you can use those extra spaces to register a new view. Let me go now to the Home tab. I can click borders and then all borders. And another thing that I can do is in the Home tab, I can align everything in the middle and vertically and horizontally. And I can go to the header, select everything, go to the Home tab, change the fill color to a dark blue, and also the font color to a white one, and also put everything in bold. And as the due date is very important for me, I can select all those numbers all the way down to the bottom, and then Home tab, I can increase the font size just a little bit to make it easier to see everything. And if you want, you can also click between the 4th and 5th row, click, hold, and drag downward to increase the row height, like that. Now it's easier to see everything. And another thing that I really like to do every time is get rid of the grid lines of Excel. So I can go here to the View tab and uncheck the grid line option, like this. Now, all I need to do is go to a certain bill on a certain month. So let's use this corresponding cell to type the value for the bill. That's it, enter. However, I think we can go one step further in the layout, and because the functionality is already here, it's working properly. I can just go to its corresponding cell, type the value, and that's it. However, I want to see every time I entered a value, I want the cell to turn green. And if there's no value at all, I want to use a light gray, because that way it's easier to see the bills that I've already paid and the ones that I still need to take care of. So let me do something here. I'm gonna select everything again, but the headers. And then I can go to the Home tab, fill color, and use a very light green, very light gray. And now I can select the values underneath the months, the cells where I'm gonna type the financial quantity, let's say, the value, and then I can go to Home tab, all the way to the right, conditional formatting, highlight cells rules, and every time a cell is greater than 0, let's say, I want to fill with a green color. Okay, that's it. Now it's automatically. Every time I go here, let's say health insurance, and then type a value, enter, Excel turns that cell green. And I know that if I look at the header, I can see exactly what today's day is. And we can use that as a reference to know whether a bill is overdue, due today, or still coming up. But I like to create a visual highlight for those due dates. For example, if today is 24th, I want to have the 24th show up in red, because that way it's easier to see what is the due date, what is today's due date is, right? And on top of that, I can also highlight yesterday, let's say here, this number right here, yesterday, and tomorrow with a yellowish color, because that way I can quickly identify not only today's date, but also the day before and the day after. And remember, since Excel is very smart, those colors will update automatically as the days go by. So today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and so on. I can select this whole due date column all the way to the bottom, and then I can go to the Home tab, conditional formatting, highlight cells rules, and for this specific case right here, I cannot use any standard conditional formatting that Excel has here, because look at the problem. I for sure have a date occurring that is maybe a situation where I can use. However, it's not the case, because I don't have any dates right here. I just have a number. It's a number, it's not a date. So how will Excel know that today is 24th, so it needs to highlight the number 24? It's not going to know. So what I'm gonna need to do is Home tab, conditional formatting, and I'm gonna need to create a new rule myself. And the option that I'm going to stick with is the last one, use a formula to determine which cells to format. And the formula is going to look like something like this, equal sign and calm down. Do not click anything in the spreadsheet. We need to reference the coordinates of the first day, that is cell C5. Okay, so every time C5 is equals to the day of, open parentheses, the today's date, open and close parentheses again. So every time the day of today's date is equal to this cell or this one, and etc., I want to format them with a font that can be a white one, and the fill that can be a red one. Okay, and okay again, and that's it. Now I have exactly the today's date highlighted in red, and I can do the same process to yesterday and also for tomorrow. The only change that I'm going to do is, instead of use the formula that I used, I continue to use the formula. However, I can subtract one or add one in the ending of the formula. That's it. Very simple. And instead of use red, I can use a yellow color, for example. So that's it. We're done with our bill tracker in Excel. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you in the next one.